AITA for the end of a friendship, edited to add this disclaimer. I know it's long. If no one reads it, so be it. This was more an exercise for myself than anything else. My former best friend is getting married this weekend and I was not invited. My F37 partner F40 Liz has mostly gotten along with my friends since we started dating 6 years ago, but she will often speak to a subject she knows little about or offer too blunt of an opinion at times. It can rub people the wrong way, but I think all would agree she is well-intentioned. Her execution is the problem. I think some issues stem from the fact that my friends view my partner as just another one of the girls, but she isn't. She's my partner and she gets along with my friends, but the way they act around her is not the way they would with a male partner. My best friend Andy F33 discussed female issues she was having and my Liz told her she might have fertility issues from what she was describing. Liz does not have a medical background and she should never have spoken in such extremes. That said, she's experienced multiple miscarriages and I know she was coming from a place of concern. I told Liz to back off. Andy didn't seem bothered by it. But the next day Andy decided that she was, in fact, very bothered by what Liz said. She also told all our friends. I never wavered. Liz was wrong to say what she said, which I told her many times, but Andy should have spoken to her directly and not involved everyone else. Liz apologized to Andy after the drama continued to ramp up. I read their text exchange and Andy played it much cooler than she did amongst our friends. Frankly, she was a bit unkind. Andy met her fiancé, Tom M., 32, in college and were on for approximately 12 years. I mostly got along with him. He sometimes crossed the line with things he said, but it wasn't like I was the one dating him, so whatever. However, there was one incident that really didn't sit well with me. Andy and I were living together at the time and we had friends over. I had to go to my room for something and to get out of the living room, I had to step over Tom's legs. As I did so, he tapped me between my legs. For lack of a better term, he patted the puss. I grabbed his wrist and said, "Don't ever do that again," and kept moving. I don't think anyone else noticed, it was very fast. I want to make it clear, I was not traumatized by this. But I was angry. The guy will do and say the most outrageous things to get a reaction out of a person and I refused to give him that satisfaction. I never told Andy because within 2 weeks, they broke up. When they got back together, 2 years had passed. I wasn't going to take her aside and be like, FYI. Tom did X a few years ago. My view was, not my monkey, not my circus. I told exactly 3 people in the 10 years since this happened, Liz being one of them. It was not something I wanted to get out. Around the time they got back together, I started dating Liz after a lifetime of being with men. Everyone was supportive, especially Andy and Tom. We did everything together. He did make a few offensive comments, though. Early on, he asked me and Liz to kiss so he could watch. To Andy's credit, she about ripped his head off when he made this request. But he never apologized. Tom also pulled me aside one night and asked me for detailed advice on how to pleasure a woman. I said, "I'm your girlfriend's best friend, not your bro." This did not stop him from also asking me to talk to Andy about agreeing to try, when I knew for a fact she would never want to do that. I politely declined. I learned from Liz that he asked her similar questions, but in much more graphic terms. We chalked it up to Tom being Tom. Fast forward to a year ago. Andy and Tom broke up because he didn't want to get married. Liz and I helped Andy move out and build furniture and decorate her new place. Within a week of the breakup, Liz and I ran into Tom on a date and after a few days I told Andy. I saw I am on another date with a different woman a week later and a few other friends saw him out as well. He was free to date, but it was surprising how quickly he moved on while Andy was struggling. I told Andy about what I saw a few days after the fact at the urging of our other friends. Turned out Andy reached out to Tom within days of moving. I figured out that something was up but waited for her to tell me. When she finally did, I told her that I supported her and all I wanted for her was to be happy. If Tom made her happy, then I was happy. Did I find it sus that he was on dates while telling Andy how shattered his heart was and how much he missed her? A bit. I later learned Tom told Andy that Liz and I were lying about seeing him on dates. He told her we were lying and just stirring up trouble. After Andy and Tom got back together, she pulled back. It really sucked. I was out for Liz one night, and Andy texted me and said she and Tom were at the local bar and asked us to stop by. Everything was great, just like old times, until the Irish exited. Normally, I wouldn't care. But given where things stood at that moment, I was really hurt. I told her I could pinpoint the moment our friendship shifted to when she got back together with Tom. I barely saw Andy over the next few months. I asked her several times to talk and sort through whatever was going on, and she kept brushing it under the rug. It came to a head when we went back to Andy's home after a party. Liz and Andy were in the kitchen, but I didn't pay attention until their voices started to escalate. Liz had told Andy that she and I needed to sort our out because if we didn't, we wouldn't be there for the other's big life moments. Liz thought Andy and I were equally to blame for whatever was behind this rift. Andy said it was 100% on me. I was stunned. I had no idea what I could have done for this to be entirely on me. I am not perfect, but 100% on me? Liz and I walked out. Andy texted an apology the next day, although I felt neither her apology nor my acceptance of it was sincere. I again asked that we talk in person, without our partners around. She agreed, except when I came over. Tom was there, working in the communal space. We chatted for an hour about nothing and I left. I took Tom being there when she knew I wanted to talk in private as her way of telling me to basically off. We both went out for a friend's birthday a week later. We were cordial, but I was totally done with trying to fix things. After drinking for hours, I was ready to head home. I was about to walk out of the bar when Andy pulled me aside. "Cancel your Uber, let's do a shot." This was about as close as an olive branch as you can get from Andy, so I agreed. After we took the shot, I said, "I really do want to get together and talk in person when we are sober." She acted confused. I looked at her just totally dumbfounded. I told her I felt she had been avoiding me, that I wanted to fix things and I missed our friendship. Suddenly Andy started screaming, "I have been avoiding you because I hate Liz. We all avoid you because we all hate Liz. No one likes her. No one likes you." I saw red. I have never felt anger like that in my life. Liz? Liz is the problem? Liz? After everything Tom has said and done over the years? Liz is the problem? I walked outside to call an Uber. I was sitting on the steps just totally stunned when she came out to again scream at me that no one likes me or Liz. I snapped and I told her she should ask Tom about grabbing women by the PSSY. I regret framing it in such a way, but I was not thinking logically at that point. I was told she asked Tom if he had ever touched me inappropriately and he not only denied it but said he would sue me for libel. The idiot doesn't know the difference between slander and libel. She told a few of our mutual friends what I said, I suspect, to paint me as a psycho. Well, two of the friends she told also happened to be two of the three people I told many years ago. They both told her they didn't think I was lying. This didn't matter to Andy. I felt awful from the moment I opened my mouth outside the bar. If alcohol wasn't involved, I wouldn't have reacted the way I did. Andy was my best friend for 15 plus years, my ride or die. I reached out to her about 3 months after the incident and asked to talk in person. She agreed, but said she was busy for several weeks. A few days later, she got engaged. She blew up my phone, texting me non-stop. I was nice and sincere when I said I was happy for her, and for a moment felt normal. But she went radio silent again. I backed off. A few mutual friends encouraged me to try one more time. I did, and we finally met almost a year after the fight. I apologized for the way I handled myself that night, but I was careful to not retract what I said. I explained how I saw red after Andy tried to pin this on Liz. Tom has repeatedly crossed the line with not just me but a lot of other people. Liz has as well. Tom will often rub people the wrong way, so has Liz. The difference was that I valued my friendship with Andy so much that I was able to separate Tom from the equation in our relationship. Andy, on the other hand, could not do the same for me. She didn't disagree with anything I said. We spent 3 hours together and it felt normal. I had some hope that we could at least be casual friends in time. Ultimately, it changed nothing. I've been told that Andy is sad and she misses our friendship. That she knows deep down I was telling the truth about Tom that night. But since Tom doesn't want me around, she will not have a friendship with me. They are getting married this weekend and I am vacillating wildly between sadness and anger. Sadness that things got to this point and anger that she allowed things to reach a breaking point. Sadness that Liz predicted this and anger that Andy has never had a spine when it counts. AITA, looking back, I should have just kept my mouth shut in order to keep the friendship, but at the same time I do not regret defending my partner who had nothing to do with the underlying issues. I am just really sad with wedding this weekend. TLDR. My best friend placed the blame for the end of our friendship solely on me and my partner.